Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to Racecraft TV here for another round of the NASRA Arca Playoffs. And we're here at beautiful Kansas Motor Speedway. It's the cornhole, not the cornhole, it's a game. It's the Cornbelt 150 here in Kansas Speedway. I'm Austin. I'm joined by Tyler Vickery. It's a later start than usual today. A little small technical issues, but we're here live from Kansas, and we're currently at qualifying. And, you know, with a bunch of difficulties comes some unique experiences. And currently, as we're in qualifying, I stupidly signed up as a driver. So, Tyler, how you doing? Tyler, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. Yeah, as soon as I heard about that, I was like, well, this ought to be fun.
It ought to be fun. Well, since I'm a driver, I might as well qualify, right? Just give you guys a little bit of a view of what these drivers are going through right now in this Arca, in these Arca cars here at Kansas. So we're starting in the pit lane, and it's very tricky pit lane a little bit because you got that banking, but as we come out, go to shift out, head up into second gear. And Kansas, it's a very unique track, very fast, very tricky, kind of flat oval. Very unique because both the bankings are a bit different. As we come out of the third gear, I've already crashed it. So this is why I'm a broadcaster.
You see it here, folks.
Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to Racecraft TV. I'm Austin. I'm joined by Tyler Vickery, and you're here watching the Cornbelt 150 for the NASRA Arca Playoffs here live from Kansas on Racecraft TV. Tyler, how you doing? How you feeling from another amazing round of this Arca series? Bristol brought us a amazing race.
Oh, yeah, Bristol brought out an amazing race. All kinds of crazy finishes. Kansas is going to be a whole complete 180, I think. Might end up seeing some pack racing, too.
Definitely on the open last, we will be seeing some pack racing, but it's going to be, it's probably going to be like we saw at Worldwide Technology. It's going to be very spread out for a little bit because it's going to be very focused on the tires, because I hope you know that racing here, it's very tough.
Yeah, and with this track, it's flat out, but at the same time, after a few laps, those tires do wear pretty quick, and when they wear, they get really bad.
And especially cold tires, even coming out of the pit lane, you might see some accidents. I could say from experience.
Absolutely. Yeah, cold tires here, especially pit road, not a good combination.
Yeah, as we currently sit waiting for these guys to come out of qualifying right now, it's currently Chris Cinnamon sitting up there on provisional pole with a time of 31.64. He's actually almost tied by a thousandth of a second to Clinton Sneed sitting in second place.
Unbelievable with just how close of a difference that is. I mean, just your top three. Oh my goodness.
And Allison jumps up in there. And if you're wondering why this timer screen is showing up and we aren't really showing the drivers, it probably explains the late start as well. A little bit of glitch happened, so we hopped from a iRacing League session to a iRacing Hostess session. And while completely ignoring the fact that this was a Hostess session, I joined the session because I usually just watch the stuff. I'm not in the league. Well, I signed up as a driver, so you might see the name Knight show up a little bit. Ignore that. He sucks.
Happens to all of us. Happens to all of us.
Well, unfortunately, we are not going to be able to be showing y'all qualifying right now, but we do get to show y'all this beautiful Kansas Speedway. And this speedway is actually pretty cool. The turns 3 and 4 have like this giant bowl element to it. And it kind of has this natural amphitheater vibe. And also in turn 2, there's a casino. Which I didn't know there was casinos in Kansas, but there is.
Yep, there is. It's a little shocking, but yes, it is there. As we got a minute left, I think everyone has taken time.
Except for one person, but we all know why.
Yeah, well, there is a second person, but yet we don't know. They haven't ran anything, and well, they are in a session too, so I guess they're just gonna start in the back.
Yep, 13 cars here on the grid for the Cornbelt 150, and it's a good afternoon in the sky. Just look at that just look at that sunset. It's just beautiful.
Absolutely. Oh yes, without a doubt, Kansas has some really nice sunsets.
Yeah. Toto, I do believe we're in Kansas because just look at this place. And the cool things about this track, the banking is absolutely beautiful. You got banking all over the track, but turn 1 a bit steeper than turns 3 and 4 as the session hops up over. And here is your grid for the Cornbelt 150. Here is your grid for the Cornbelt 150. Gabriel Ellison starts up on pole, followed by Chris Cinnamon. Clinton Sneed, Ryan Kendall, Spencer Teal, Max Steck, Rhett Tucker, Mitch Ellison, Scott Osmet, Dustin Scruggs, Ben Ganoski, Tyler Rex in 12th place. They're followed by Clinton Castleberry, some moron named Austin Knight, and Mike Harnish. There's a lot of positive thinking against that one Austin Knight guy. But as we were just sitting here right now waiting for these guys, I'd say it's time to get ready to go racing.
Absolutely, and a lot of things can happen as well. It'll be interesting to see how long they're going to run flat out for before they decide to see what they can do on long run, because tires are going to be key here as well. And with 100 laps, anything can happen.
100 laps, anything can happen. It is right. 0 out of 100 as we're waiting for everyone to come up on pole. We got some new cameras. We got some new fancy toys for y'all as we're just waiting for Gabriel Ellison to get on track. And there he is as we ride on board with our pole sitter, Gabriel Ellison. And I hope y'all enjoy this new camera that we got going on right here. We stuck it into the cars without these guys noticing, so they probably don't even know that we can see their bloodshot eyes. Actually, Gabriel, you can see into those eyes. Just look how focused he is. Which I think they're cross-eyed.
Oh, absolutely.
But Gabriel Ellison sitting in first place. He is followed by Clinton Castleberry, who's rocking a very maroon and marbled red helmet. Clinton Sneed in third in that all-black carbon helmet. Ryan Kendall sporting that red and black. Let's go take a look at Max Steck right now. He's got a very unique helmet and a Jack Daniels suit. Might be drinking some of that later today. Got Spencer Teal right now. He's an all-star. Look at that suit. That's a beautiful suit. But who probably wins the helmet award? Rhett Tucker. Look at that helmet.
Yep. Yep, absolutely.
That's a Scruggs sporting that Rhett Tucker suit. And Ben Goniski also sporting a very plain suit. But all eyes are on Gabriel Ellison as he's coming and leading the field here in Kansas and getting ready to go racing here live at Kansas. Pace car pulls off, and it's green here in Arca Night in America for the NASRA Arca Playoffs. Another round starting right here. It's a great start by Ellison and Cinnamon. Both of them getting very nicely into a line. Sneed looking down low. Kendall, Spencer Teals dropped down 2 spots. He had a very bad start. Rhett Tucker and Max Steck, they're swapping positions. Tucker's already up 2 spots. The 68 of Ryan Kendall looking low on Rhett Tucker. They're going to go side by side heading into 3 and 4. And oh, there's a wiggle. It sneezes into the wall.
Yes.
And Rhett Tucker gets a big bap right there from Ryan Kendall. And Max Steck.
4 wide, and that was a split second 4 wide too. And I think Sneed was really worried about that.
Yeah. And Sneed extremely worried. He got into the wall, just playing a bit safe, but all this fighting has allowed Chris Cinnamon and Gabriel Ellison to just pull away.
It's unbelievable as Gabriel Ellison, a few of the drivers are already working that high side of the line. A lot of fresh track up there right now, so we'll be seeing them up there for most of the race, and these guys are already starting to string out.
Max Steck has a party with him right there. Rhett Tucker got into the clear air, already up 4 spots. Great start by him. But looking at everybody else, Max Steck has a lot of competition around him.
Oh, absolutely. And Steck's just going to try to bide his time and play it safe. And if he can play it safe, he might be able to have a good opportunity, as he had looked like a little technical glitch there for a moment.
Yeah, just a small one. Nothing too major as we ride on board with Quentin Sneed. So he's holding on to that high side of this gyro cam, and you can see how much banking this track has in that first half. And then look how little banking the track has in the second half.
Yeah, it's a very unique, really unique racetrack. It's just you can go almost flat out through most of it, as you can tell, but you can already hear some of these guys already lifting off a little early.
I must say, in a cup car, you can go almost flat out in it. This is the Arca series. You go flat out in here, you're going to die.
Yeah, fair enough.
Living proof of that. Ryan Kendall, a little rush with the wall, but he's getting things back in order. He says he's sitting in 3rd. That is completely wrong. He's actually sitting in 6th. Oh, he's the 3rd driver of the championship. There we go. We got that fixed up. 6 overall. And he's fighting with Spencer Teal, who's looking down to his inside.
Teal's trying to find an opportunity to make a good move here, but he's biding his time, just playing it safe. And that's what you got to do with this race. You got a very long race. Ooh, never mind, as he skirts the wall there a little bit.
Yeah, he's got key here is work the tires and find out really well, as we got a big gaggle of cars right behind him. That's Scruggs, Castleberry, the 55 of Mitch Ellison, and Scott Osment, these 4 cars.
Yeah, they're just biding their time, seeing what they can do here, and looks like these guys are going to play it really safe now, and that's a really good sign, seeing how these drivers are running.
Well, some guys say, "Hey, let's play it safe," but we all know what happens when whoever says, "Hey, let's take it safe." They always constant wrecks. Max Steck and Chris Cinnamon having a battle for 3rd place now. Chris Cinnamon made up a lot of ground, and there he is. And he is looking for a charge. Just look at that focus in his eyes.
Just knowing that focus and that time and gap is even dropping more for Steck. I think Steck must have had an issue or something. That last lap time was a 31.9, and it's still the quickest out of everyone, but it looks like this lap was a whole lot slower, and Chris Cinnamon's trying to take advantage of it now.
Taking a bit lower, more aggressive line to Max Steck. All these guys running the baseline iRacing setup. Thick setup series here on the Arca, just like in real life. Well, no, Arca's not set up in real life, but it's all spec, so I'm guessing that's what iRacing is trying to implement. You can just see Max Steck hard into the wall right there.
Yeah, a little bit of contact there, and doesn't look like it's going to hamper him too much, but he's just got to watch it, though. If he hits it a little too... Oh, boy, here we go. Steck almost got the wall there, and that was even closer than the other one.
Here looking at Max Steck right now. At number 5 with his dogs proudly on that car. They get him going in the morning, I can tell you that.
Absolutely.
And right behind him, Chris Cinnamon still looking low, looking hard to attack. Steck chops his nose off with a good block, but you don't ever block somebody who's running the number and delivery of the Intimidator himself. Yeah,
and it just looked like Steck's getting a little loose. As you can see, the back end start to wiggle a little bit here and there. It just looked, that's what it almost looked like from there. As we're looking further back now, Sneed's trying to work the outside line around Ryan Kendall, and looks like it might just work.
It's going to work for the first part, but then Sneed goes way wide, almost touches the wall right there. Kendall looks down low, and he gets that spot on him.
Rough break there for Sneed, but gotta admit the paint scheme looks very nice.
Yeah, it's a new paint scheme, but if you just look at that, he's actually got some chrome on there on the bottom, running that fake Toyota Supra.
Yeah, but yeah, I gotta admit, definitely something different. But yeah, the chrome, and he's even got the numbers with the chrome as well. So
Stacked in the wall, Stacked grinding it hard.
And that's pretty decent amount of damage on that right front too. You can actually see that tire popping out a bit, so he could potentially have a tire rub now too.
See if we can get it from our track side camera. Oh yeah, that right side is grinded down very deep right there. He's actually got some hood damage as well, and ooh, almost got in trouble right there. But things not looking good for Max Steck.
Nope, right now, no.
Sneed's going very slow.
He got some. Looks like he might have just got loose, because we don't see any damage so far. I don't see any on the rear either. It looks like he might have just gotten really loose.
Nope, he smacked the wall, but that might have been from lap 1.
Yeah.
And, well, Steck, as we were saying, might be struggling. Well, he's making us eat those words because he's passed Teal around the outside.
Impressing me every time.
Up ahead, the battle for third still going on between Cinnamon and Kendall. Kendall looking down low, and Kendall's got that.
Fairly easily, too. Kendall starting to try to make his way back. Right now running 32.8, while Ellison and Tucker both running a 31.6. And Ellison's holding a nice little gap here too, about 0.8 of a second gap, and Tucker's just playing the consistency game now, it looks like.
Yeah, right. Tucker just ahead of the two battling behind him. We're going to stick on that gearbox and just watch these two throw little punches and jabs at each other. And Kendall, he's found a little nice groove because he's catching up to Rhett Tucker.
Chris Cinnamon trying to gain his 2 spots back. He did start second and already fallen 2 spots down. That's not a good start for Chris Cinnamon currently.
Definitely isn't a good start, but what usually happens here with only 13 guys on the track, it's going to be a very clean race. And Sneed's in the wall. And Sneed's all over the place.
Yeah, Sneed's got a whole lot of damage now, as everyone's having to avoid him. Sneed's fallen all the way down to 11th now. Just rough night for Snead already.
So we can watch what's happened to Snead right here.
20 scraped the wall. 20 scraped the wall earlier, and then he might. It looks like Snead might have just turned in too deep. Yeah, it looks like he turned in too deep. Barely touched the apron. And well, be a little too far back. All right, here we go. Run the high line. Yep.
Oh.
And
here it is, and it's just a grind rail.
Yeah. Man, really unfortunate there for Snead. Just a little too high up there on the track, and that will do it.
Yeah, it's currently sitting in 11th right now. Back up to the battle for second. Rhett Tucker, Ryan Kendall, and Chris Cinnamon going at it.
Tucker all of a sudden has been.
Ooh, Tucker's in the wall! Tucker's in the wall! And oh no! Kendall hard impact with him.
That broke the right front. I think that broke the right front of Kendall. If not, I'm impressed, because that looks like it broke completely.
That was incredibly close. Let's take a replay. Look at that in slow motion. Tucker in the wall, and Kendall scrapes past him and hard into the wall. And you can just see that right front tire wobbling around, but I believe the iRacing gods let him pass with that. We go back live. He might have some suspension damage.
He's got to have at least some kind of suspension damage, because I mean that was I can't believe that right front didn't break.
Right on board with Ryan Kendall. I don't see any problem with his steering.
Doesn't look like it.
And he's still leading this pack too. But that damage is going to be hurting his front line speed. And they're going to go 3 wide through turn 1 and 2.
Man, oh man. I'm. These guys sure know how to make it really interesting for us now.
Hey, a party's a party no matter where you are, and these guys love throwing a good party of a fight. This battle for second, absolutely just cruising on here in Kansas. And it looks like Chris Cinnamon falling back just a little bit. Let's ride on board with Rhett Tucker as he's behind Ryan Kendall. Let's hear those tires screaming for help, but Tucker, he found the grip on the outside line.
The amazing thing too is you can see how far Gabriel Ellison is ahead of this gap. You can just barely see in the camera. Oh, as Tucker's drifting it around the corner, it looks like. But you can see how far Gabriel Ellison is ahead. Almost 5-second gap now to second place. Unbelievable.
4.8 seconds. This dude is absolutely putting on a rocket of a race. Actually, let's just show the time delta between Ellison and Kendall. Just skating on that 5-second gap to him. And on lap 20, he was only about 3.8 seconds, and now he's pulled off 2 seconds immediately.
Unbelievable.
It was actually pulled out 2 seconds in 1 lap.
That might have been from that instant, too, with Kendall and Tucker. That might have also helped out, too. But, yeah, I mean, amazing that even beforehand how big the gap was growing.
And we take a look at the lap time history. Just wait for that to update. Kendall now slowly gaining on him. It's because that battle for second is closing up. The one battle that's not closing up is the battle between the 55 of Mitch Ellison and Max Steck. They're going side by side.
Steck's giving it a good fight back as Steck's got back around Mitch Ellison, trying to see what he could do and getting that car a little better even after the impact.
Quentin Sneed, a little bit of a problem right there. He and Scott Osmat dancing around. They're going side by side on here on lap 28.
Osman's trying to keep that defend, or actually that was Teal trying to keep that defend, but Teal's just struggling, and Clinton Sneed able to make an easy pass coming out of 2.
Mitch Ellison and Max Steck. These guys still going side by side to 3 and 4. And we also got
throwing haymakers.
There you are with your catchphrase. Throwing haymakers. But these two guys are actually throwing haymakers. This is the battle for third between Rhett Tucker and Chris Cinnamon.
Yeah, and the amazing thing too is these guys are fighting it out so much that Kendall's now already gained a 1.2 second gap on these two.
Fights all over the track here at Kansas Motor Speedway here in the NASRA Arca Playoffs here on Racecraft TV. Almost having contact with the wall is Chris Cinnamon. We're going to go Racecraft TV side by side so y'all don't miss a thing. Welcome back to Racecraft TV here at Kansas Motor Speedway. During that break, Clinton Castleberry, Chris Cinnamon tried to make a pass on Rhett Tucker, but unable to do so. But he is dancing all over that bumper.
Cinnamon's been trying the last few laps to make it work, and it just hasn't worked. And Cinnamon staring at that Rhett Tucker paint scheme in front of him, seeing that name, it's gotten annoying with him, and here he goes on the inside trying to get the run out of 2, and it might not work.
Yeah, it's all about the exit here
down the backstretch,
and he's got his nose ahead of him, but he taps on the brakes there, letting Rhett Tucker by. And Tucker saying, "Thank you very much. I'm in the high line. I have the high ground. You don't underestimate my power." And now Cinnamon's going around to the outside, forcing Rhett Tucker down low. Can Chris Cinnamon hold that outside line?
It just seems like that setup is not working for Cinnamon. As here goes Rhett Tucker on the slide job to block. Oh my goodness, that could have ended disastrously.
You can't see his mouth right there, but he is grinning a big smile, Rhett Tucker is. I'm not going to go on board Chris Cinnamon because there might be a hand off the wheel doing a very unsportsmanlike gesture. But we're right on the roll bar of him.
Yeah.
They're still dancing around just a little bit. Cinnamon almost getting into the wall. He's got a good draft. He's coming up to a car in front of him. And is that Gabriel Ellison? No, it can't be. And here comes Cinnamon.
Just running.
Yeah, that's not Gabriel Ellison.
Or actually...
Oh, it's Ryan Kendall.
No, that's Ryan Kendall.
And as these two are
Kendall
battling,
further up
look
ahead.
who's joined this fight. Castleberry.
Uh-oh. It's like start the Jaws theme because he is closing
Oh,
in a hurry.
Cinnamon just hit the
Ooh,
wall.
Cinnamon. And give the spot to Clinton Castleberry super easily, too.
That's a Rhett Tucker 3-4 right now. Those guys are going to be happy. But I'm thinking the Red Bull... the Red Bull driver of Clinton Castleberry might just been given it a few wings right there, and he's going to be very light on his tires.
It also looks, too, I mean, Castleberry's running the quickest lap times, too. 33.38 was his last lap, and he gained a full half second on Gabriel Ellison, too. So, I mean, he's on a hard charge right now.
If you look at these times to Castleberry's Cinnamon, just wow.
And he's close to making quick work of Rhett Tucker now, too, as he is side by side heading into 3.
Yep, there he is on Tucker. Tucker going up, and Tucker's in the wall.
Wow.
Very nice save. And now Cinnamon's up ahead as Castleberry is just completely flown away from these two.
Yeah, and Castleberry's going to set his sights now on Ryan.
Tucker's in the wall again.
3. Oh, Tucker had to have broken something by now. Something had to have broken, because that's 3 times now he's hitting the wall.
Don't see any problems with the steering. But yeah, he's fallen off pace a lot. Just pushed it a little bit too hard.
Yeah, as Scruggs is trying to make quick work, and now Scruggs is trying to catch up to Clinton Castleberry. So the gaps already for the top 4 have just are widespread now. Meanwhile, further back, Clinton Sneed's trying to make a charge. He got around Mitch Ellison for 9th place on track.
Castleberry to Scruggs. That lap time advancing a lot, except for that last lap. Castleberry actually uncharacteristically running a very slow lap compared to what he usually does. Do have a bit of a battle going down here on track. Max Sek, Scott Osmet, as well as Mitch Ellison and Spencer Teed. And Spencer Teal and Ben Ganowski.
Ben Ganowski having a strong low running here, as he is working in the inside lane, trying to get that run coming back to the start-finish line, side by side of the line. Give it to Ben Ganowski for position number 11, and he takes it coming into 1.
Only 13 cars here on track for the ARCA series. It is the playoffs. Most of the playoffs drivers are running in. Actually, all the playoffs drivers are running in here, and they are joined by a few drivers, and most of the entire field is not here as they don't want to mess with the playoff drivers' race, which I think is a super honorable thing, but there's no need for them to do that.
Yeah.
Go back to the battle for 7th place between Steck and Scott Osmond. They're coming up on a strucken Rhett Tucker.
And
Tucker
is going into the pits. I think he's going into the pits. That damage is
as
too
well
much.
as Castleberry. And oh my goodness,
Tucker
you see Tucker going sideways.
Yeah, Tucker was doing Tokyo Drift there. I had to make that pun. I'm sorry.
Might have been watching that the other night.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, Tokyo Drift
Rick
antics
Tucker,
definitely happening here in Kansas as green flag pit stops are starting right up, and well, let's watch this race off of pit road right
question's
now.
gonna be though, Castleberry easily beats that. Next question too is, how far are these guys going to go? Because it looks like there is a good chance that we could go one stop.
Definitely a good chance to go one stop here. I'm guessing that's what these guys up front are trying to do as we're watching the battle for now third between Scruggs and Cinnamon. Ryan Kendall dived into the pit lane after a big contact with the wall. Mitch Ellison also in there. As now this is the battle for second place. As Gabriel Ellison has a 9-second gap and Rhett Tucker has crashed.
Oh boy.
Oh,
and that is heavy damage.
And that is going to be a big knife in the heart. Gabriel Ellison is going to be giving up that lead. But Mitch Ellison, he was in pit lane when that yellow flag came out. And speaking of the yellow flag, here's what the yellow flag is just... Oh my goodness.
Ouch. And I think he used his fast repair because of the... after hitting the wall hard earlier. So that might be Tucker's race over.
Okay, pit lane was open. And then the lights...
still open.
So... Wow, there they go.
Yeah,
right?
they stayed for a while, yep.
Safe. But yellow flag is out here on lap 46. And the leaders, Ellison, Scruggs, Cinnamon, Steck, Osmac, and Sneed all coming into the pit lane. That is massive, massive hurt for Clinton Castleberry as he was just in the pit lane. And he's going to be a lap down and he's going to pass the safety car. And he realized what he did, so he's going to slow up.
Yep, as
Ryan Kendall, though, who went into the pits, did not go a lap down. He's going to be your leader. So race off pit road is going to be Ellison, Cinnamon. And who's that coming up there? That's Scruggs in third, followed by Scott Osmat. Banganowski jumping up into fourth place. Clinton Castleberry around to the outside of everybody else as he got back to the field. He's going to be on the same lap as everybody. But Gabriel Ellison, big knife in the heart right there. And big knife in the heart for a lot of Rhett Tucker fans today. But it's Kendall in the lead now here in Kansas for the Arca Playoffs. You're here watching Racecraft TV. We'll be right back after these messages.
Can you see it? It's right there. Hidden behind an assortment of vibrant colors and corporate branding schemes. Look closer. Past the nearly 200 tons of handmade American steel. And beyond the highest quality, custom-designed electrical components and systems in the industry. Deeper still, to the very core. That's where you'll find it. The heart of NRE. Heart is what makes us who we are. Heart is why NRE products and services are made with more. More precision, more grit, and more passion. We're the largest independent supplier of locomotives, parts, and components on the planet. Vertically integrated and strategically positioned for multiple domestic and international facilities. Our capacity and efficiency are simply unmatched. Cast in work ethic and sealed with a calloused handshake. We design real solutions for real-world challenges. Whether we're leading the charge on clean emission solutions, or integrating the latest performance-enhancing technology into virtually any locomotive platform. We quote to delivery and ship from stock to offer the most flexible and comprehensive work scope throughout our global reach. Our customers call it a return on investment. We call it the return of North American pride.
Welcome back to Racecraft TV here for the Cornbelt 150 for the Arca Playoffs. It's Gabriel Ellison, Chris Cinnamon, your front row right now. 50 laps down, 50 to go here in Kansas. Pace car pulls off, and it's a great start by Ellison. Sitting right behind Scruggs, right behind them in third. They're followed by Scott Osbat, Teal, and Tyler Rex, who very quiet opening a few laps. Moved up into 7th place, but right around the outside goes Max Steck.
Steck's trying to find a hard charge there, and it's working right now, but these guys are already starting to separate a little, but there are some mini fights in between here. Steck's working the high line, trying to keep that momentum on the high side.
Gets back Spencer Teal right there, around to the outside. Very nice move. There's a lot of sparring right behind him. That's Quentin Sneed going around Teal. And also right behind him, former fastest lap holder, Clinton Castleberry, stuck all the way down there. He took a pit stop, then unfortunately the yellow flag came out by the car right behind him, and that is Rhett Tucker, who's actually still a lap down. It's actually a few laps down.
Yeah, I'm assuming he used his fast repair already, and with the impact he had to sit in the pits to get that required repairs taken care of.
Very unfortunate for Rhett Tucker right there. And the battle up front is not far done, because Cinnamon and Ellison have caught up to each other, and this is something that Gabriel Ellison is not used to. It's Chris Cinnamon. He's at a purple sector 1. I think he's going for that fastest lap.
Chris Cinnamon's trying to do everything he can to catch up with Gabriel Ellison. Ellison's just pulling away. Meanwhile, further back, nice little hornet's nest. Scott Osmond's working the high line, making a clean pass around the 53. Or actually, that was Scott Osmond losing us. Looks like it.
I don't have a spray bottle to do the joke, but if I did, I would.
Oh boy.
What happens when you have a super?
Yeah, fair enough.
And Sneed right behind Ryan Kendall, and Ryan Kendall's starting to pull away from these guys.
Yeah, Ryan Kendall's trying to get some ground going, as he knows he's got to catch up to the rest of these guys further up ahead, as they're all within a second's reach, and looks like they're pulling away on him too. So Kendall's got some work to do if he wants to catch up.
Actually, Kendall has on the freshest tires out of everybody. He went in on lap 49, as everybody went in on lap 47 and 48. Ryan Kendall, he can make it to the end.
I think everyone can make it to the end. Oh, well, actually, it just depends. But I mean, it'll be interesting.
These guys were barely making it to lap 46. They were already looking like they were going to pit in. Kendall, he can cruise to the end if he plays this smart.
Oh yeah, he could easily, and it's just going to be a question mark now.
We're here on lap 62 of 100 here in Kansas. It's a slam dunk of a battle here back in the battle for 6th place. And we also got a battle for 2nd place between Dustin Scruggs and Chris Cinnamon. And Rhett Tucker's also in there as well. But Tucker is a few laps down.
Tucker's a few laps down, and think he's trying to help
know
out
that's
his
Dustin
teammate.
Scruggs and Max Steck
Uh,
at third.
there's Tucker is trying to play it safe, not cause too many issues.
No,
there he
he's not
goes
playing it
around.
safe. He's doing whatever he wants.
Nope. Yep.
He wants his lap back.
A nice little run. He's going to have to do it the hard way, that's for sure.
And he's certainly not giving up any room. We go back here to Spencer Teal and Tyler Rex. Big fight of the tires right there. Rex looking down low. And oh, Teal's in the wall. And he goes down low, and Rex going to have to dive all the way to the apron to make that pass.
And Teal's on the oldest tires to everyone. He did not even pit either that I'm aware of. So really shocking to see him not pit. So him not having the oldest tires of everyone, it's got a good risk of potentially blowing a tire.
We got a fight for fourth place right here between Ryan Kendall and Max Steck. They were side by side through 1 and 2. They're still side by side through 3, 4. And they're closing up to Dustin Scruggs. And they're still side by side through the tri-oval. And they're still side by side back into turn 1. And they're still side by side out of turn 2 on the back straight.
Kendall might do a late move here to try to get it to work, but it's not going to work. He might use 11 as a pick, but 11 decides to block both, and not going to help these guys at all.
Let's right on board with Dustin Scruggs as we got Max Steck and Ryan Kendall battling side by side, still side by side for 2 laps in a row. Steck looking to join Ryan Kendall down low, but he's staying up high. And here goes Ryan Kendall. He finally breaks the side-by-side streak to get up into 4th place. But now he's looking to go side-by-side once more with Dustin Scruggs. As now this is a 3-way fight for 3rd.
3-way fight for 3rd, and these guys are going to have no chance with Chris Cinnamon and Gabriel Ellison way further ahead. And Scruggs is just having issues with those tires right now, as he looks like he was sliding all over the track a little bit there.
Yeah, Ryan Kendall, so has to keep that long game in mind, play it a bit safer than everybody else if he wants to make it to the end and not have to do a splash and go if this stays green. Kendall looking low, and he's got it.
And almost barely, though. If he tried to move up, he would have been turned.
Hold of that inside line goes Kendall and Scruggs, but it's Kendall up ahead of Dustin Scruggs.
Kendall just trying to now see what he can do on catching up to Cinnamon. It'll be very interesting. Running the quickest lap time so far. Granted, that was in aid of some help, but I think he's got a shot at trying to catch up to Gabriel Ellison, who's 4 seconds ahead of him now.
And this fight, they're still going on as Dustin Scruggs is still right there with him, and that drafted by Rhett Tucker is certainly helping him. And also right behind him, Max Steck and Clinton Castleberry are in a battle for each other. We enter lap 71 of 100 here in Kansas. You're watching the NASA Arca Playoffs here on Racecraft TV. We're going to go side by side so y'all don't miss the action. We'll be right back after this short message.
At McConey Setup Shop, we offer custom-built setups for any asphalt oval car. prices starting at just $5. Weekly setups available for all Legends, late models, modifieds, and NASCAR trucks, Xfinity, and Cup cars. Do you need one-on-one driver coaching? We've got you covered. Visit www.McConeySetupShop.com and find yourself in Victory Lane. McConey Setup Shop, handling all your setup needs so you don't have to.
We're back live here on Racecraft TV. Max Stack has caught up to Dustin Scruggs now as Ryan Kendall sits in third place. But all 5 of these guys still racing out, and Dustin Scruggs behind his teammate of lapped car of Rhett Tucker.
Yep, Rhett Tucker just trying to play defense here, trying to figure out something that he can do to get his laps back, but it just seems like it's no help. He's just pretty much running around hoping for a caution now.
Max Stack looked down low, got past Dustin Scruggs right there. Now Dustin looking down low on Max Stack. With these guys swapping places, it's very inviting for Castleberry, who's behind him. Castleberry uses that outside line to eke an advantage out on Scruggs down low. And he's going to have to draft up Max Stack in front of him. I think that draft's going to give him a lot. They're going to go 3 wide heading into turn 3.
And they're trying to make it work, and it just seems like Clinton Castleberry is just going to keep that high line, and that high line's going to have the best advantage for him right now as he's fighting side by side with Dustin Scruggs.
Scruggs holding down low, and then there goes Castleberry up into 3rd. Yep. Castleberry up into 5th. Numbers are coming into my mind, and they don't make sense. And Steck's into the wall.
Steck's having a rough night already again and scraping the outside wall. Now he's going to lose the spot to Scruggs as well now.
24 laps to go. A splash and go is still in the books for most of these guys. Sure, they all went green on lap 50, but some of them have just a little bit more fuel in them because he still burned fuel underneath yellow.
Yeah, some of them are probably good at saving fuel and everything, so it'll be very
Cinnamon's going very slow.
What happens?
Cinnamon is going very slow as there's Ryan Kendall down low.
Ooh, what happened to Cinnamon here? Unless he's trying to fuel save.
That might be a possibility, but Chris Cinnamon falling down to Ryan Kendall, who I definitely know is not fuel saving at all.
Absolutely not.
And Gabriel
Kendall
Ellison is just
around.
way up ahead running his own race. Last lap for Ellison, 3. Last lap for Ryan Kendall, 3.65. Actually, we have a little graphic to show y'all between Kendall and Ellison. And 0.3 Ellison ran faster than Kendall last lap.
Boy.
But Kendall gaining a lot from lap 74 to 77.
Yeah, so a lot can still play here. Kendall's about 3.5 seconds gap, but it could drop though. I mean, Ellison could if he wanted to. He can lift off a little and save. So it's gonna be very interesting though, as Rhett Tucker's back in pit road.
Tucker realizing that his charge is done, he's gonna hop into pit road once more, and I believe this is just to get some fresh tires and not, unfortunately, pull out the caution like last time. Max Steck looking down low on Dustin Scruggs. Steck going almost side by side through the tri-oval. and almost sliding it through the tribal. Still side by side in turn 1. Now Scruggs on the exit. Scruggs.
I was gonna say Steck's trying to use that low line, but here at Kansas though, that low line.
That Supra holding that outside line. I just realized, speaking of the Supra, he's actually copied this. That car is a full-on Supra, even going down to the headlights.
Yeah. That's why I said it. I like the paint. It was impressive. I have to say that.
I've done the joke of taking a photo of a Ferrari and putting on a Porsche. But, like, fully adapting it, that's impressive. As we still look at this battle for a second between Ryan Kendall and Chris Cinnamon. Not really much of a battle. It's more of a Ryan Kendall pulling Cinnamon behind him. We're looking at the gap between him and Ellison. He's gained up approximately 3/10 still. 4/10 on him. Last lap, almost a 10th. That gap is coming down. 2.8 seconds separate them with 17 laps to go.
It's going to be very close. It'll be interesting because that gap is down to 3 seconds between Kendall and Ellison. But at the same time, too, you got Cinnamon staying right behind Kendall, probably trying to feel safe as best he can and hope for something to happen to the front runners.
And Ellison doesn't have any help with him at all. So Ellison is just going full bore. And with these guys, Kendall not fuel saving at all. And he lost 2/10 that lap. He must have got loose.
Had to be. And then you even look in the background, Clinton Castleberry's in this mix as well now, too.
Yeah, Castleberry, he's chunking up on these guys. And Castleberry, that car comes alive late in this run.
Coming alive very late, but it looks like it's working, though.
And now it's a three-way fight for second between Castleberry, Cinnamon, and Kendall. We ride on board of the 21. And that little car you see ahead in the distance, that is Gabriel Ellison. 3 seconds up on them.
3 seconds on him, and it looks like you can tell that you can see that 3 seconds starting to really come down. So it's going to be pretty close here as we're coming to about 15 to go, roughly 15-14 to go.
15-14 to go. Now it's starting to come in with Cinnamon lifting off still and easily giving that place to Clinton Castleberry. Does Ellison have the fuel?
Going to be pretty close on fuel.
Let's ride on board with Ellison right now. And let's just listen to his throttle. He's definitely lifting off going into the corners, but it's not even looking like he's fuel saving at all.
Doesn't look like it at all, so I don't know. He must know something that we don't.
He's probably hoping for an extremely late race caution, really. Because these guys are just going to be barely making it on fuel. So it's going to be a matter of strategy and how you race this car, because it's coming down to the wire here at Kansas.
Clinton Castleberry is just all over that rear of Ryan Kendall, not even making any move. You know Castleberry is saving fuel, hoping for something to happen up front as they're closing in on this gap. So we're getting close to 10 to go.
Yeah, you listen to Castleberry. He's just barely on that throttle through the corner to stay with Kendall and using that draft to catch up with him. And that draft is really helping out Castleberry right now. And these two guys, They've chopped down 2/10 on Ellison up ahead.
Closing in, and I'm starting to wind down. I think Gabriel Ellison's starting to realize he needs to pick up the pace because he just started picking up the pace again now.
Go to Ryan Kendall, who is very on the pace. Let's take a look at their lap time history compared to Ellison. And yeah, these guys are definitely closing in on Ellison. And I think Ellison just now realized that he's not going to have enough fuel to make it. And hello, down low. That's Rhett Tucker.
And Tucker on fresh tires, too. So Tucker's going to be flying by
Tucker
this. And boy,
can be a good air dam for them. And he's not going to be a good air dam for him because he's already broken out of the draft. Where did he go?
And
He's disappeared. He's disappeared.
That didn't take long.
Yeah, these guys lost 2/10 now to Ellison that last lap. So they're gaining on him, and then they lose speed on him once they feel like they're gaining. Very up and down game with them. So we really need to see what Ellison's doing onto Kendall behind him. Because he's getting 2/10 last lap.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And there goes Rhett Tucker. Woo. Got to be a little cautious here. He's getting one of his laps back.
Yeah, he's still 1, 2, 3, 8 laps down.
Yeah.
7 laps down now. That's going to be helping Ellison for a bit with that draft.
Not long, really, but this fight's getting even more bigger now as these guys are starting to really throw a fight now.
It's battle for second. Kendall, Castleberry, Cinnamon. And we know Castleberry's Cinnamon strategy of just staying behind this group. So he's just staying there, fuel saving, with 7 laps to go here in, and that's Rhett Tucker on the apron.
That probably got loose, or I don't know what happened. That's
Hit the wall again?
weird.
Oh, speaking of hitting the wall, Cinnamon's in the wall.
Oh, it's not going to help his case out. You can see that gap, though, just starting to drop even more. Like less than 2.5 seconds now is the gap between Kendall and Ellison. And these top two, this second through fourth place is starting to really reeling in the leader. And I don't know if it's going to be enough time as we're completed 95 laps of 100. So not many laps left.
2.5 seconds separate them. Last lap for Ellison, 33.54. So 2/10 faster than Kendall last lap. It feels like Kendall knows he's faster, but every time he does, he just makes a little small mistake that puts him 2/10 down.
Yeah, and it just seems like the tires have fallen off on Kendall as Kendall's been trying to push, especially having Castleberry and Cinnamon right behind him as Castleberry's running the high line again, and it's just not working out for either one of them.
I think Castleberry is on the same mindset with Cinnamon. They know Kendall can make it on fuel, so they're just using him as a little bit of a draft practice and knowingly staying behind him and saving fuel. 3 laps to go now. Does Ellison have the fuel? Does Kendall have the tires? Does Castleberry have what it takes, as well as Cinnamon have the fuel?
I think Ellison's good to have the fuel. I've been looking at the lap times, and Ellison's been getting off the throttle a lot earlier.
Here comes Castleberry.
Castleberry's trying to make it work. Oh,
and it gets into Kendall. Kendall's into the wall.
Yep, and Cinnamon's scraping the wall too, as all of them are getting back up to speed, but that just gave Ellison the gap he needed.
No caution.
As we're getting close to white flag as well.
All right, here is Gabriel Ellison in the lead. He probably saw his relative go way down as that's destroyed any fight behind him. And I think we should ride on board with his final lap. The all-white suit looking so nice right there. It's actually not all white. It's got a little bit of blue in the center. It's actually so blue that it blended into me, and I didn't even realize that. But as he goes onto the back stretch right now, ladies and gentlemen, Gabriel Ellison started up on pole. He is the Kansas master, and it's checkered flag in the air for your winner, Gabriel Ellison.
What a win for Ellison. Able to make it seem so easy for him, especially out here in Kansas.
And it's time to burn this house down with Gabriel Ellison. If he has enough fuel, and he certainly does, to throw a bit of smoke into the air. And it's Gabriel Ellison taking the victory here today in the NASRA Arca Playoffs. Let's take a look at our full results right now. Full result. It's Ellison, Castleberry, Cinnamon, Kendall, Steck, Scruggs, Sneed, Osmat, Ellison, Rex, Janowski, Teal, Tucker, and 13th place. And that is your results today. But all eyes are on Gabriel Ellison as he takes the win here in Kansas. Took the win so well that he's going to leave it a bit early. And he's going to head off to the trailer and head off to next round. But what a race it was for Gabriel Ellison. And I believe we do have Mr. Ellison waiting for us in the broadcast booth. Howdy, 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 Gabriel. What a win.
How's it going? Yeah, that was something, wasn't it?
Well, it was getting pretty tight to 50 laps, and then the yellow came out. How tight was fuel for you?
I had it looked like it was going to be about 56 or 57, so I was about to come the next time around, and then the caution came out. So it worked out very well. I didn't get caught in some kind of weird timing or anything. I think a couple guys did, and it made them drop to the back of the field. But I was very fortunate.
Yeah, we were wondering if you did have if everyone had 50 laps of fuel possible in the car. Some were looking like it, some weren't. And we thought, well, this guy's the Kansas master. Pole, fastest lap, I believe. And just outright dominance. No one could keep up with you, especially even on the restarts. You just flew away from everybody. What's your secret around here?
Well, I was restarting in first, and it's very high RPM, but it actually jumps. So that would, if people weren't restarting in first, that would explain the restart. But the key, I've raced here a couple times in different cars, and you know, like I know Ryan Kendall was running the bottom, and he made it work. But if you run the high line, your tires, you just save tires like crazy, and it's just as fast as running the bottom. So I just ran the wall the whole time. The key is staying out of the wall. I think that happened to most guys, is they would catch the wall and drop back 2 or 3 seconds, and I caught it once, but I only lost like a second or so. So I think that's the key here, is just running the wall close as you can, but don't hit it.
Absolutely good advice there. Hitting the wall is never a good idea, and I'm living proof of that. Well, it's an amazing win for you today. Took the pole, took the win, took the checkered flag, other superlatives, fastest lap, I guess, least pit stops. You're pretty much tied with a lot of other people there, but
All the medals.
all the medals go to you today. It's a win in the Arca Playoffs. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank?
Oh yeah, huge thanks to Michael McKinnon for the sponsorship and on the car and putting the league on. He's put a lot of work in. We're on the home stretch. We're almost there, so I know he's put a lot of time into this, making it work. Huge thanks to him, and then thanks to Mitch Ellison and Clinton Sneed racing with me. We talk strategy and everything, and huge thanks to Alan Bird, my crew chief in the Discord call, even though he contributes nothing. I promise it's nothing.
Well, I think he better contribute by buying you a beer because you definitely deserve one after that performance.
I appreciate it.
All right, Gabriel Ellison, everyone. Tyler, who you standing with?
I'm standing with our second place, Clinton Castleberry, and boy, Clint, that race was wild. And oh man, I know you probably were hoping that something late caution would come out, something, or even Ellison running out of fuel. What was your mindset going through those last 10 laps?
Oh, it was the same as it was 40 laps ahead of it. I caught up there to the front, and I was just wanting to run Ellison down. I wanted him bad.
Yeah, you were doing as best you can, and then had that little moment where Kendall and Cinnamon almost got into the wall there, and you had to dive it down low just to avoid it all. I know that was a scary moment for you.
Oh yeah, once we caught up to them, they were racing pretty good. Decided we had a few laps. I was hoping they'd fall in line because we were catching some time on Gabe while we were in line. But once they started racing each other for a couple laps, I bid my time as much as I could, but I knew I was running out and I had to do something. I had to go.
I knew. Well, either way though, being the biggest mover of the night, going from 13th from having looked like a terrible qualifying for you all the way up to second. So heck of a run anyways. And I know you definitely got some sponsors you want to shout out for.
Absolutely. I mean, we got RTR Racing where we're at. It's going to be, my family over at Mountain Lake Estates, primaryjeep.com. They're with us all the time. We got Malware Bites. They work with us a lot. They're doing great. You'll see them on Rhett's car. We got Prosper Engineering over there on Shrug's car. Dustin actually does all these paints for us, does an awesome job at it. And that's really it. Last thing, I promised a buddy of mine at work I would holler at him. I got to let Scooter know that all his help to get me at home on time for these races, I do appreciate it.
Well, definitely have a good rest of the night as well, and great racing again, Clint. So definitely celebrate that second place victory.
Absolutely, buddy. We'll get a little further in these playoffs. It's going to get fun, man.
Absolutely. As Austin, you heard it from Clint.
Yeah, Clint, definitely looking for some fun coming up as we are standing here with Chris Cinnamon right now as he took a third place in that number 3 today. Chris, you were all the way up at the battle for second place, and you just stayed behind for everybody. Were you worried about fuel?
Yeah, no, wasn't worried about fuel. Just tire management in that race. What a fun track to race at, though.
Kansas definitely looking at like a massive fun track for you. Came a little bit hairy with 2 laps to go with that 3-way car contact. What was your thoughts going heading into there?
Yeah, just get on the brakes and try and avoid it pretty much. It was a good battle. 3 cars there for the last, I think, 10, 15 laps. And I was trying to just buy my time, save some tires, and hey, I got 1 position out of it anyways.
Well, it certainly paid off for you. Third place here at Kansas. That sets you up pretty nicely in the points heading into the next few rounds. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank?
Just Michael for putting this a great league on. It's been a blast so far, and like Gabe said, we're in the home stretch now. 2 more to go.
All right. Well, it's definitely 2 more to go, and they're going to be the very, very high-profile 2 more to go because just only a few more races and a few more points to be made up here in the Arca playoffs. And man, what a race we witnessed here today here in Kansas. here for the Cornbelt 150. Ellison takes the win, followed by Castleberry, Cinnamon, Kendall, Steck, Scruggs, Sneed, Osmat, Ellison, Rex, Ganowski, Teal, and Rhett Tucker at the end of the grid. Tyler, how is that race for you?
Intense. I guess you could say, because you had that question mark, always wondering, will Ellison make it? And because there were so many times when we were seeing these green flag runs going before something happened, you'd almost question on how far they could go before fuel would run out, because that was a big question mark, especially with Ellison. We weren't sure how far he would make it before he would have to pit, because we had that late that mid-race caution that came out, and it really changed things up.
Yeah, late race caution could have changed things up, but glad we can see it go absolutely 50 laps under green here in Kansas for another great round of the NASRA Arca Playoffs for the Cornbelt 150. I've been joined by Tyler Vickery. I'm Austin Knight. You're here watching Racecraft TV, and I hope y'all have a great night.